Hello, loves. How's everyone today? Um, Today, I felt the need to connect with you and remind you about who you are, because I've been holding a lot of space for people and one-on-one sessions, combo sessions, and it, there's always like a point when I'm like, remember who you are. And then people are like, I don't know who I am. I'm trying to figure it out. I'm like, okay, well, let's go back to that. So that's what I want to talk to you about. How do you know who you are? Well, there's a couple of tools to find out. One, you know that funny feeling in your body when you say something and you're like, oh, why did I say that? I've been saying that for so long, but it doesn't really feel good. Like, oh, you know that's not you. That's like pattern, whatever, habit you picked up from someone that used to be funny or whatever, but now you have a better understanding of the word or the energy of the whatever it is that you're saying, but it's not you, you know? So maybe you wanna like, okay, rethink that one. How do I express myself that it's more true to actually what I mean? That's one of this. Let's say you are in a situation that you have an interaction with someone and you do something as a response, like a reaction or whatever. And then you're like, oh shit, that doesn't feel good, you know? That's not who you are, you know? It's something that, you know, an energy that overtakes you or whatever and makes you react. It's a reactive nature, you know? But it's not like you inside. That's not what your soul's purpose is, and that's not your higher self, as we call it, you know? So basically anything that does not vibe with the frequency of you are, the frequency of when you feel like, you know, when you feel like I really feel amazing today and everything's just been so magical and so aligned and all this synchronicity, and like I go out there, I think of someone and then it shows up, you know, or like, you know, I'm thinking I need a blender and then someone is like, hey, I have an extra blender, do you want that, you know? And when that happens, you know, we like, oh my God, we feel like we are totally in flow with the universe, which we are. That's the person we are. So anything that doesn't align with that person who feels like that psyched about the self, you know, without the ego or anything, just like pure energy, you know, anything that does not align with that, it's not who you are. It's energies attached to you, feeding of you. It's other people's opinions that got into your head, stored inside of you. It's old patterning, it's subliminal messages, it's advertising, it's all this stuff. But it does not feel good in your body. Your body knows everything. It's not who you are. So you want to know who you are? You want to find it out? This is what you do. You ask yourself, who are you? Okay, I'm a being of light. I try for purity. I care about Pachamama, you know. I care about the animals. I love the animals. I'm a teacher. I'm also a student, you know. What else? I love traveling, you know. I love kirtan. I love flowy movements, you know, like I love feeling my body, I love laughing, I love sharing, I love to be at service, you know. I love making art, I love making wooden art, I like to burn art, you know, like I like to make jewelry, I like to make sacred tools, I love my family, I love my mother, you know, like all that. I am creating, or like, let's say, oh, there's a tricky one, because you catch yourself saying like, I will do this, you know, like I will be watching more what I'm doing. No, what I'm eating, like let's say. No, I am watching what I'm eating, you know. I am nourishing myself with like foods that are aligned with my vibration, whatever that means to you, you know. So when you catch yourself saying I will or I try or any of that, you know, then you're just like, I am doing it, because by just putting that thought out there that that's who you are, then that's what you are doing. The process doesn't start necessarily in the action, and action is also, the thought is the action, everything else is manifest after that. Materials, everything else is after thoughts. Thoughts creates reality. So when you understand that, that's who you are. So come back to it and have your mantra, you know, sit down and then just close your eyes and who I am. And just start saying it, and you might come back to the same thing, you know, like I need to, like in the beginning I would keep saying like I try for purity, because I really just want to be like open heart, no energetic residue anywhere. So whenever I realize like there's some sort of energetic residue, I can't fucking exist, you know, I can't sleep, I can't, you know, it's just like, it's like I feel like my energetic field is like getting sick, you know, and sometimes the mind wants to do that, you know. And sometimes you want to get back to people, or like sometimes you want to be like, you did that or you said that, so I'm gonna do something to like wake you up or teach you a lesson. Does that feel good? Not really, because it's not really in line with the high vibration, so you might not want to do that, So you want to go back, and then you observe your emotions and your feelings and what came up with it, and then you correct it. So the key is self-observation. Does not mean you get to get obsessed with everything you're doing, but self-observation is basically one of the keys to the mystic path to be in line with the universe. So, and that feels good, So what you do is you go on with your everyday, like what kind of clothing I'm wearing, like, this feels a little tight. I feel like I'm not able to move. Okay, well, let's go change, And then I'm sitting on a certain way, and let's say my spine, is like this, and I'm like, how does it feel? Oh, it's comfortable. Okay, then it's good, breathing into it. But you know what? It's actually like I'm noticing that my spine is kind of crooked, and the pressure, it's point on it that it's like, so it's like cannot be good for it, So I'm like, okay, let me readjust that. And I just straighten my spine, and I'm like, now I'm supported. Now I'm working with my body instead of against my body. And then let's say like you meet someone and you like notice that you feel like they're like having this judgy look at you, and then be like, laugh at it and be like, okay, this person is probably not judgy of me. They just have like a thought that might be like not really, translated somewhere that might be looks like it's directed toward me, but it might not be. And even if it is, come on, like no one has time to like, pick on you or whatever. And if they do, that's their own energy to deal with. If you can be control of your energy, I'm like running low. If you can be control of your energy, and you know that what you're doing is right, and your heart is like open and accepting, and you are working on yourself constantly, you can make mistake, you can go back and correct it, but if you are with that, then nothing can hurt you, because everything else is like, and you just clean it up. So by doing that, a constant isn't like, learn to be like self-observant, and then whatever you're doing, you're correcting your actions, you're correcting whatever it is around you, like you have a tidy space and whatever, you just kind of like organize that. Then you are shedding everything does not feel good. So if you don't like going dancing when it's raining, because all you want to do is cuddle up with the movie, don't feel guilty about it. I should be going dancing because it's a thing, because I could move my body and I could maybe activate some muscles or whatever. But I feel like cuddling in with the movie because that makes me feel cozy. Be like, yeah, that's what I'm doing, because, that feeds my soul. It's soul food, And that's probably what you want to do. Now, don't watch too weird movies or whatever, make sure that you feed yourself with good stuff over there too. No, you know what I'm saying? It's like whatever you do, just make sure you are not giving yourself a guilt trip about it, because that is just like, okay, what is the point? You eat a piece of cake and you're like, oh shit, I eat a piece of cake and I want to lose weight, or I want to like whatever it is, I shouldn't be eating all that sugar or whatever, Then you not just eating the cake and you're giving that to your body, you're making your body be aware of that if you're feeling guilty about it. So you're feeding that energy that you shouldn't have done it. So your body's like, oh shit, we don't need that and all that, So now it's like there's just all these layers to it, and then you feel guilty, and then you're disappointed in yourself, and how long is gonna that dread out? How about you just eat a damn piece of cake if you consciously made up your mind to do that? You bless it, you restructure it, you eat it as nutrition, and you call it soul food, And then you go home and you take a bentonite drink or whatever, or make your cake a nice, beautiful, vegan, gluten-free, I don't know, whatever it is that your field needs, to feel thrive, And then you go home and then you're like, okay, so tonight before I go to bed, I'm gonna make like a psyllium has bentonite play in case, if that cake was not like really pure, so I can pass it through my system, do not take like laxatives or make yourself throw up. That's just crazy. But we can like take some spirulina, take some superfoods to balance it out. Maybe the next day if you want to fast a little bit, you don't need to be that extreme. You can just eat the damn cake and then consider it done, and then just out of your system you had a really beautiful way, connection with this dessert, and that's it. Okay, enough of the cake. So if you can manage to shed all that you are not and connect with what feels good, you will find who you are. Doesn't matter what the master manipulator is doing, that one time you question yourself, they can tell you that you are a dark being, and you're like, am I dark? No, if you don't feel that, you are not, We all have some dark side, so it's easy for people to tell us that we are dark, But just tap into you. You know inside everything you do, everything you know, like it's already in here. You just have to kind of listen. That's all you have to do. No one is like you. You are a very, very unique person. No one thinks the way you do. No one looks the way you do. No one can do the way you do things the way you do. So get to know you and give that gift to the world, because the world needs more people who can operate in a freer vibration so they can see what's really possible. So get to know you, your own genetic blueprint, your own gift, and everything will come, and the right people will find you, and people will see your light, and they want to be around your light, and they're going to be inviting you to things, and then all the things that you love, shed it all that doesn't belong, and just bring it on, all the things you love, and everything else, finances, abundance, all that stuff, is just going to come to you. But the number one, don't wait to live the life you want to live for these things to happen and these things to correct about yourself. Start correcting the little things and get in line with who you are, because everything else will match your frequency. When you operate on that frequency, you open up the gate and it will come in. I promise you. Okay, I promise you it's gonna happen. That's the message for the day. If you have any questions or comments or feel like to share, then please do it so. I love you so much. And later. Okay, I love you. Bye.